Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. It's all turning for the craziest moment you can possibly think about when it comes to the Epstein saga that the Democrats tried to flip on Trump. He absolutely waited for the exact moment. Now, all chaos as Democrats are pretty much flipping on each other after Trump announces this. President Trump, who the Democrats claimed for weeks was hiding something in the Epstein files, just instructed Republicans to vote to release the Epstein files. He has instructed all Republicans to vote for the Epstein files. He posted it just now on Truth Social. And every Democrat thought that they had him. This is the moment. He's hiding everything. Guess what? He's encouraging Republicans to vote for this. So what happened? The Democrats played themselves again? Well, let's actually look at this. P.S. These people don't actually care about the victims, or you wouldn't have been silent from January 21st to now, right? And here is the Truth Social post from President Trump. This is an atomic bomb on a lot of Democrats who, again, have tried to just some way how manifest Trump in these files doing the most craziest stuff. And it turns out that it's all literally BS, right? Because now did Trump trick these people? Did Trump wait for the right moment? Well, let's actually take a look. As I said on Friday night, says Trump here on Truth Social. This is the post that has broken the internet for the last hour, as everyone right now cannot believe that Trump did exactly what they didn't even think they were going to do. There was a lot of people on the right wing flipping as well. They were flipping on Trump, saying that maybe he is on the Epstein file doing something wrong. Maybe he is. Well, Trump waited and he did this. And he says, and I quote, as I said on Friday night aboard Air Force One, to the fake news media, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide. And it's time to move on from this Democrat hoax perpetrated by radical left lunatics in order to deflect from the great success of the Republican Party, including our recent victory on Democrat shutdown. The Department of Justice has already turned over tens of thousands of pages to the public on Epstein, are looking at various Democrat operatives like Bill Clinton, Reid Hoffman, Larry Summers, and etc., and their relationship to Epstein. And the House Oversight Committee can have whatever they legally are entitled to. I don't care. All I care about is that the Republican Party gets back on point, which is the economy and affordability, which is true, by the way. This is what Trump says, by the way. I'm reading it all to you. I'm not on screen right now, so you guys can see what exactly has broken the internet for the last hour. Our victory on reducing inflation from the highest level in history to practically nothing, bringing down prices for the American people, delivering historic tax cuts, gaining trillions of dollars in investments into America. A record, by the way, says Trump, in rebuilding our military, securing our border, deporting criminal illegal aliens, ending men and women's sports, stopping transgender for everyone, and so much more. Nobody cared about Jeffrey Epstein when he was alive, and if the Democrats had anything, they would have released it a long time ago. Our landslide election victory would have probably never happened if they would have released it. So some members of the Republican Party are being used, and we can't let that happen. Let's start talking about the Republican Party's record-setting achievements and not fall into the Epstein trap, he says, which is actually a curse on the Democrats, not us. Make America great again, he says. So he says that this is a Democrat problem. Democrats have full control. They should have been released everything, but he is telling Republicans and telling them to vote. Every Democrat for the last, I don't know how many days, for the last 2 weeks on CNN, MSNBC, have been saying that Trump will tell Republicans not to vote to release all of the Epstein files and emails and everything. He says there's nothing to hide, that this is a hoax on behalf of them because they're the ones redacting names, trying to frame him as the guy that perpetrated all the bad stuff with Jeffrey Epstein. And he says, release it all. So this is a huge breaking move because what happened? What happened to the Democrats? They're the party that said that Trump was behind it all. And now Trump is the one basically saying, hey, how about you guys just release everything? Release it all. I don't want anything to do with this. Just release it all. Look, I'm one of those people that never liked when Trump said that this was a hoax, because none of it is a hoax. We know that this exists. But look, I'm gonna be frankly honest with you. When this dropped, it just makes sense why he says that today. Watch this. Democrats are outright ignoring this bombshell that Epstein colluded with a House Democrat to hurt President Trump in 2019. Don't let them ignore this. They asked for this issue to come to front page, and now it's all coming out. I think this is one of the biggest setups you could think about. Look at this. House Democrat exchanged texts with Jeffrey Epstein on how to hurt Trump during 2019 congressional hearing. This is crazy. Some wild stuff coming out about it. Here is who she is. House Democrat exchanged texts with Epstein on how to hurt Trump. And let's actually read some of it, because in my opinion, this is one of the wildest stories that has come out of the Epstein saga, right? Let's actually read. Jeffrey Epstein was feeding questions to Representative Stacey Plaskett during 2019 congressional hearing, right? 2019, and giving her real time to help on how to damage President Trump's reputation. Newly released documents show. The text, first reported by the Washington Post, showed the convicted pedophile pontificating that Plaskett during a February 27, 2019 House Oversight Committee hearing, in which then former president's ex-attorney Michael Cohen testified about Trump's alleged payments to mistresses and all this crazy stuff that was happening at that time. In the text, Epstein appeared to be watching on television while Cohen brought up former Trump executive assistant Rona Graff in his testimony. There she is, by the way. And there's Cohen, who again has multiple podcasts about hating Trump. So Cohen brought up Rona, keeping of the secrets. Epstein text misspelling Graff's first name. Rona, question mark, responded Plaskett, the congresswoman, at Epstein, a non-voting delegate representing the U.S. Virgin Islands. And I quote, she says, "Quick, I'm up next." Is that an acronym? She added, suggesting that she'd grill Cohen soon. So she was grilling Michael Cohen, who was Trump's lawyer at the time, and she was texting Epstein to try to get information. This is an absolute bombshell story. But again, it lets you know how much of a hoax it really turns out to be, really, on how they're trying to use Epstein. They're not trying to use Epstein for the victims. They're trying to use it to frame Trump. That's his assistant, Epstein replied. So again, they go back and forth. The text messages also show Epstein influenced what questions Cohen asked. He's opened the door to questions. Who are the henchmen at Trump organization? Epstein texts Plaskett at 12:25 p.m. And she says, "Yep, very aware and waiting on my turn," she responded, on her turn. Plaskett began questioning Cohen at 2:28 p.m. and asked about Graff, as well as with other Trump associates Epstein had mentioned, according to the Washington Post. So while they were questioning Cohen, who was Trump's lawyer at the time, she was texting Epstein on what to question Cohen about to try to get everything on Trump. Crazy, 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 crazy. Here's some more of the text messages. She asked him, she says, "Are there more people that we should be meeting with?" Plaskett asked. So Alan Weiselberg is the chief financial officer in the Trump organization. Cohen began to reply, "You've got to quickly give us as many names." This is her and Cohen going back and forth. You got to give us as many names as you can. Plaskett responded, "Is Miss Rona? What is Miss Rona's?" And then he replied, "Rona Graff is the Mr. Trump's executive assistant. She was her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on." Cohen replied. So again, Cohen, was he working with Epstein? Epstein working with Plaskett, and this is a bombshell as to what they were texting behind the. And this is by the way in 2019. You can see Ro Khanna there, and Thomas Massey in the back. Everybody was there. And she was just texting on information. So she was texting Epstein. How the heck did she get Epstein's number? So at 2:34 p.m., Epstein told Plaskett, "Good work," a minute after she finished her questioning. What? The texts were released as part of roughly 20,000 pages of documents from Epstein's estate made public Wednesday by House Oversight Committee. The documents redacted Plaskett's name, but the newspaper analyzed the messages and compared them to the hearing footage to report Plaskett was indeed texting Epstein. So she was texting Epstein throughout this whole time. So when you hear Trump and many Democrats again saying that we got him now, it turns out that Trump got child again. A congresswoman, a representative, texting Epstein on how to attack his lawyer at the time during congressional hearing while he was under oath. She was texting the guy that they claim is the worst guy, which we all claim that he was the worst guy. He's done some very bad stuff. We should catch all of these people. But she was playing a whole different game. So again, Democrats went to the scolds of the lowest to try to get Trump, that a Democrat was texting Epstein during that time. Unbelievable information that has come out. But again, Trump has told them, as he said on Friday, he wants the Republicans to vote to release Epstein files because they have nothing to hide. And it's time to move on. The Democrats have tried everything. He also mentioned something else. He mentioned that the Democrats are doing this because the government shut down. And I got to admit, this is the lifeline they did not need. This is the energy that the Republicans need. Release it all, and release it all. And you'll see, you'll find nothing, and you have nothing, just like you had nothing when you left the government shutdown and you decided to reopen the government after the 8 Democrats folded to Republicans. Because they use the government shutdown as leverage. They're using these victims as leverage. And that's what Trump is saying. At least that's what I'm coming to understand, because I was one of those people that was mad. It's like, Trump, why in the world is Trump saying that this is a hoax? This is stupid. He shouldn't say that. But the more I look at all of this, the more I say, man, these people are full of it. And they're grabbing the headlines and they're grabbing people by their emotion, as they always do, to try to get you to hate Trump. But now the truth is coming out, and we hope that it does come out. We hope that Republicans all get together and vote with Ro Khanna, Thomas Massie, and everybody else to release everything. Just release it all. This is not a Trump thing. This is about the victims. This is about what happened. This is about the ring. This is about everything they've ever done. Do it, release it. This is the best news you could possibly think about on a Monday morning. I believe that this right here will legitimately close a lot of doors for the Democrats and literally cut the rope that they had left. A lifeline. Cut the lifeline off. This is the only lifeline they have. You cut this off, you cut off a lot.